It's not intimidating at all, Lee or Brady. I'm just kidding. Go for it. All right. So you want just to talk about AI generally?
Yeah, just your thoughts and feelings.
tying into like how I use it and what's good about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you who I am first of all? Would that be useful?
Yes.
Okay. So hi, my name's James. I'm a college lecturer and I teach creative media. I have a quite complex relationship in my mind with AI, certainly generative AI. Largely speaking, if I'm honest, from a position where I was unsure, I'm actually really very excited about it. I set out on a sort of self-imposed journey this year to understand it better and to use it. I feel like as an educator and as a teacher, it's absolutely my role to get my head around anything new which is going to impact the lives of the people that I'm working with. AI is definitely going to impact the lives of the people that I'm teaching and the people that I'm working with in college. That is absolutely certain. There's no question AI is not going to be part of the landscape, certainly the creative media landscape and every other part of society from now on. And I think that makes it my job to understand it well enough to have meaningful conversations with young people about what the future might look like. So my sort of starting point was to understand this menace that we've got and try and get my head round, in part, how to stop people cheating, because that is a part of a teacher's job, to make sure there's no malpractice and people aren't writing essays using ChatGPT or Claude or something like that. And then a little bit getting to think about how we could use it creatively and do some fun stuff. And within about 2 weeks of actually actively playing with AI tools, I sort of wasn't worried about the cheating bit at all, and I was just really open to the possibility that there's some amazing things that we can do. The problem with AI, certainly as a teacher, I'm going to sort of not talk about society, but as a teacher, the problem with AI generating images or music or voiceovers is that I wouldn't want a young person to think they can do it. So we've got a young person who is going to generate amazing music using Sono, or one of the sort of free music generation pieces of software. That's going to be fun, and that's going to be really useful for them to think about how music can be generated that way, but they can't walk away from that experience thinking that they can compose music, because they can't. AI is a sort of trick in that it feels like I'm great at something and I'm not. So it's using tools, having a fun way to explore possibilities, but not getting it twisted and not thinking that you can actually do that without it. So it's making sure that people are thinking, how would I generate this, or how would I source this without using Gen AI after having a play with it. But that isn't as far as it goes. I think it's wonderful for loads of reasons. So we can use it for things like evaluation. So I might get a student to write an essay and they struggle writing an essay, and they'll do that all themselves traditionally, and then instead of just stopping at that point, I might ask them to get ChatGPT or Claude or one of the other large language models to generate an AI version of their essay, and then they can compare the two, and they can say, well, the strength of mine are this and the weaknesses of the AI are that, and they can have a look at it. Then they can go further and put their own essay into large language model and ask for feedback and say, what could have I improved, how could I have done it differently, and all of those processes are on top of the essay they would have written anyway, and traditionally they'd stop there, but with AI I can make them go further and start asking questions of how to improve. And that's probably like the best, most useful use of generative AI for me, is that idea that it can take a young person's ambitions and ideas and push them a bit further, think about something else. Don't just find an image from the internet, construct one yourself, and then think about how, if you were doing it yourself, how you'd put it all together. So it's gone from being scary and annoying and rubbish to very quickly just a lot of fun. And I've been teaching over 20 years, and this year I'm using more new teaching tools and techniques than I have done in the past 19 probably put together, and that's all Gen AI. So that's good.